And joining me on the break is Max
Oh,
Zener. Thank you so much for sticking around,
yes.
even though we're not writing the next great American novel, Pork and Prejudice, yet.
We're not?
Not yet, not yet.
Okay.
Oh, so Max,
Yes.
tell me a little bit. Okay, first of all, we had a really funny story in the break room before this, and if you don't mind sharing, I think it'd be great because I guess it's your pseudonym, right?
What funny story? Oh, about
About how
my
you got
middle
your
name?
name.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. So, we were talking about how, um, when I, got married, I had to get my birth certificate, and, in a sterling example of how deeply uncommunicative my family is, I got my birth certificate, and it had a different middle name on it than the one that I thought my middle name was. And I asked them why, and they were like, "Oh, yeah, we changed it when you were 4," having not told me at all.
I was also thinking about what you were saying about how you got the name Maxwell.
Oh, Maxwell. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
that one.
So, okay. So
All the
Max,
names.
yeah, Max is my birth name, and just because my last name begins with a Z, everybody who heard Max Zener assumed my name was Mac, or at best Matt, and I just got tired of that, so I changed it to Maxwell.
I love that. I love that. It's like the pseudonym that's like not a
Not,
pseudonym.
yeah, it's not a pseudonym at all.
So, Max,
I guess it's not a nickname. It got longer. It's a Nicholas name.
oh, there you go, right? So, Maxwell, what kind of stuff do you normally narrate?
Oh gosh. I narrate all sorts of stuff. I do a lot of sci-fi and military sci-fi. I do a lot of nonfiction. My pseudonym has a fair number of romance titles under his belt. I'm finishing up a thriller series about a couple doing art heists. I
Ooh.
do a lot of stuff.
Ooh, an art heist would be
Yeah.
fun. Like yeah, I was gonna say your voice actually would be really good for like thrillers and like those like Tom Clancy kind of things. That's cool. How'd you get into narration?
Oh, wow. It was something that I have wanted to do for a long time. When I was a kid, I had this bad year and a half where I was in the hospital a lot. I was sort of bedridden a lot, and my mom went and got a tape player and threw on. It was the first one she did was Tom Clancy's Hunt for Red October, and just started playing, and it just kind of took me away from all of the trouble I was having. Also got me good medical care because the nurses would kind of linger in the room to hear what would happen with the book next. And I just listened to a ton of audiobooks, and it helped me a lot. Like it got me through. So it was kind of always something I wanted to do. And eventually, I worked up the gumption to cut a couple demos and hop on ACX, which is where I got my first couple gigs, and took it from there.
That's awesome. Also, chat, if you guys have any questions for Max, throw it in there and I'll ask him. Okay, so this is really random.
Yeah,
Since you're the only guy in our group here. And I know for like a lot of times, like I'll be asked to voice like male characters, but I'm always wondering how a male narrator does it in the opposite direction. Because do you feel like weird when
sure.
you're like being a woman, you're like, oh, excuse me. You know what I mean? Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like it's different, I feel,
Yeah.
for to go the other way, but like, I don't know. How do you voice a female character? And not make it
Um,
awkward.
yeah, no, it's not awkward at all. I mean, I've never really struggled to find female voices. It's not hard for me to just kind of pitch things up higher. I can just sort of throw things up in my head voice and sort of start here. And, like any character, I'll, go with personality, probably a lot more sort of uptalk than I normally do when I'm voicing male characters. But, that's sort of where I start.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Yeah, I always wondered because I feel like, yeah, I just feel like it'd be hard depending on, I don't know. Anyway, but that's awesome. You make it look effortless.
Thank you.
That's awesome. So, what else besides? Because I think you've done a lot. Looking at your IMDb, besides VO, right?
Yeah, yeah, I'm a actor of stage and screen when they'll let me be.
Out in you're on the East Coast,
Yeah,
right?
I'm in New York City.
Okay, so I just have to ask, did you ever do West Coast or no?
No,
Okay, I'm so curious what the differences are, but if you've never been out here, then
yeah, I
you
couldn't
can't
say.
really speak to the differences. Yeah, I was always like, "Oh, wow." It just seems like it'd be just a very different vibe or something. Like, what's the art scene like out where you're at?
New York City? No, no
Mhm.
art scene here. No art happens here in New York City. You're kidding? It's a dead town. No art, no music, no theater, nothing.
But you have the advantage because a lot of publishers are out where you're at.
Yeah, but I don't know that that matters anymore. I mean, we all work from home. We all have, we've all got studio setups or can get them without too much hassle. I don't think that makes a huge difference anymore.
Yeah, that's true. Thanks, pandemic. Hopefully, we don't get demonetized because I said that, but that's okay. I have to ask, what is your favorite voice to use in narration or accent,
Oh
if you have a
man.
favorite accent?
I haven't. I mean, I'll tell you, I don't think I have a favorite voice or accent, but in this art heist book, I've got this character who I'm loving voicing. His name is Pascal. He's this French Interpol agent undercover in the art thieving world, and I sort of imagine him as a uh, a French Pedro Pascal, and I just so enjoy getting inside he's the way he talks and the way he thinks. So I'm in, and his name is Pascal. So what's could be better?
Oh, that's so awesome. That's so awesome. And do you have a booth pet?
I have a booth. I mean, I have a pet. I don't think. Let me see if she's right here. Sometimes she is. Nope. I think my daughter's eating dinner somewhere, so she's waiting for the crumbs to fall. She doesn't like getting in the booth. She really doesn't. The only time she wants to get in the booth is when it is when there's a thunderstorm or fireworks. Then she'll come in the booth because she's figured out that it protects her from the sound.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Oh, poor puppy. You're like, "I thought you loved me, only when it's bad out."
No.
Oh, man, that's so awesome. So if people want to listen to some of your stuff, what would you suggest they start with?
Oh gosh. So there's a militaristic sci-fi novel called Malum, Malum, which is about a soldier in sort of this futuristic religious war, and he starts to question what he's being asked to do, and starts to challenge the religious order that is forcing this war upon the galaxy. And that was a fun one to read. So that's one. And assuming people watching the stream are sort of into fantasy storytelling and role playing games and stuff, I have a nonfiction title that I'd recommend. It's called Monsters, and it is a survey of monsters across different times and cultures, starting from stuff that people have found on the walls of cave paintings, through the Bible, through ancient Egypt, the ogres of the Pacific Islands, the Wendigo myths in North America, just a huge cultural sweep, looking at what all these monsters have in common, and
That's cool.
asking why do we as humans feel the need to tell these stories? What does it do for us? And I found narrating it to greatly improve my role playing game running,
Oh,
um,
cool.
because it sort of gave me some insights on the kinds of stories to tap into.
That is really cool. I'm gonna check that one out. Awesome.